everyone. This is Eddie Wilson. That ain't even tells like a TIS. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Topic I'm going to talk to you today about is Celebrity Roundup. And this is Celebrity Roundup. In my last video, I said I was going to do Tabitha Brown, but I decided to do it on this video because that video was too long. So I'm going to talk about Tabitha Brown, saying that if you're an entrepreneur and your business is not doing too good, maybe you need to work. I also will be talking about. I heard a snippet of Chloe Bailey's new song. I also will be talking about. Uh, I also will be talking about Bryon Allen selling his studio, selling a lot of his stations. I also will be talking about. Uh, I also have a list. I also will be talking about Tamika Scott saying how she paid a waitress $700 because she's the only one that waited on her and her daughter. I also will be talking about um, Tiana Taylor's song being her number four top 10 Billboard hit. I also will be talking about um, I had one more topic I was going to talk about. Oh, I was going to talk about James Harden, the restaurant, where he owed rent on his restaurant, and also the social media person Rolling Ray passing away. Those are just some of the topics I'm going to talk about in this celebrity roundup. Like I said, Byron Allen, I think it was last month, had said that he was selling off some of his TV stations, and I'm going to read to you what it says. It says. It says Black Billionaire TV. Billionaire Byron Allen has agreed to sell 10 stations to the Atlanta-based company Gray Media for 171 million. And I said, "Ooh, Gray Media, who is this?" And then I read some of the comments on the side, and some people were saying, "Byron Allen, why are you selling to Great Media Group? Great Media Group is a conservative white media station." I said, "Huh? What?" And I was saying, well, he had been having stuff with he had been having problems with getting his shows on Xfinity because he had sued Xfinity a couple of years back, and I think he won. I think he didn't win that lawsuit, but he sued him, and then he was also trying to buy BET earlier this year. So maybe that's what it is. And some people saying maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's how he freed up on money. And that's it on that story. So let me go to the next story. The next story is right here. Blessed Tamika Scott of the group escape tipped a waitress 700 after other servers refused to assist her and her daughter. Uh, Never judge a book by its cover. I had an experience like that one time. My husband had took me to I think it was an Applebee's for my birthday one year, and it was like the other waitresses didn't want to come in, and then it was like when the black waitress came in, she asked us, "Had we been helped?" And I said no. And then when she went in the back and asked them, the little boy was talking about, "Well, he didn't know. Well, he didn't know." And she was saying, "Well, now," she was saying, "Now," she was saying, "Now," she was saying, "Now, I wish I could help y'all." She said, "But I just came on, and they already gave me this table over here." And so it was like it was like he came over there reluctantly, and by him coming over reluctantly and messing up my order, I decided I wasn't gonna give him no tip. I sure didn't, and stuff like that. So that girl, she said that girl came back to her 2 or 3 times and asked her did she need some help and stuff. And the girl was nice enough to wait on her, and she said she gave that girl a $700 tip and stuff like that. And they were saying in the comments that they bet our co-workers was mad and upset because she got a $700 tip and they didn't want to wait on her. I don't blame that girl and stuff like that. Like she said, you can't judge a book by a cover because somebody might come in your restaurant casually dressed. That don't mean they don't have no money. And then I'm off to that story, but I'm glad Tamika Scott did that and stuff like that. The next story is oh I was gonna talk about that on another video. Um, Let me pause this video and I'll come back to the next story. I'm back. It says Tiana Taylor earns her fourth consecutive top 10 album on Billboard R&B chart with Escape Room. Like I said, I haven't listened to her new album, but I know a lot of her old albums, especially the ones when she was with Kanye West. Those were good albums, but Kanye West is not a good a person to collaborate with because that woman had good music, but he always had her stuff on the shelf, or he wasn't promoting her stuff and stuff like that and stuff like that. So I'm glad Tiana Taylor is independent and doing her own thing because she does have some, forget about what's going on in her personal life, and she does make good music. I'll give her that. Now on to the next story. Right here, Kelly Price. Now Kelly Price came out because she was on the internet. And I guess people got into her comments and she got mad because of talking about black women are disgusting. Black women are the most disgusting women around. Black women this and black women that. And I'm looking at, ain't you a black woman? And then according to my niece, she was talking about her home country. And according to my niece was saying that she had to go back and change that because people were saying, if you from overseas or you from Ghana or Jamaica, all them other kind of places over there, because you talking about you also celebrate your culture and stuff like that. And she was talking about Jamaica Queens. And I was saying, well, I'm glad you cleared it up and specified that. But I know sometimes black women kind of get on some of these entertainers' backs and stuff about certain things, but then there's other things that sound like you are or what you call it, hating on black women just for nothing, and stuff like that. And you've always had a mean girl streak, Kelly Price, and for you to be that talented and stuff like that, because like I said, I didn't know too much about Kelly Price. People have been saying behind the scenes that she was mean and stuff, but I was saying, oh, people just mad at Kelly Price. They just don't like her because she heavy set and stuff like that. But when I saw her on Hollywood Divas and how she was acting toward Shantae Moore and other people, I said, look like some of those rumors are kind of true about Kelly Price and stuff like that. And so that's why she said had this message to black women about they're the most nasty and disrespectful people. And I'm looking at people look at you as a black woman. She got so much backlash and stuff behind it and stuff like that. And my niece said she was too pretty to be talking about this because she said not only was Kelly Price a good singer, she was also a writer. She also wrote songs for other artists. And I was saying, I don't know who made her mad, but like I told my niece, to me, Kelly Price is like reminds me of Monique. And like the whole time, like I said, I saw the little clip online. I think I saw it on Twitter or something. I know I saw it online. I think it was on Twitter. And I'm looking at the little clip that I saw. But while she's saying her speech on her Instagram, here in the background, yeah, yeah, I'm looking at Edge on her own and stuff. And I'm looking at you supposed to be supporting your wife, but you supposed to be telling her, no, that's probably ain't right. You probably shouldn't say that. No, he all the negative stuff that she was saying, he was boosting it up. And I said, it kind of remind me of Monique when she had her husband in the background. She was talking about Oprah and Tyler Perry at one time and stuff like that. I just hope Kelly Price gets it together and stuff like that and have more positive people in her life. Now on to the next story. Right here, got this from the Jasmine brand. It says James Harden's James Harden's Houston restaurant locked out over 2.2 million unpaid rent. I remember I remember him talking about his restaurant a couple of times in some commercials. Like he was do some football, not football, basketball commercial, and he was saying, "Yeah, y'all need to go to my restaurant in Houston, my restaurant in Houston." And then it was some girl on some reality show that said that she was a bartender or waiter at James Harden restaurant. I said, "Oh." So they say he owe all this unpaid rent. But then when I'm looking at unpaid rent, I say all that money you make from that basketball game, and you ain't paying the rent on you ain't paying the rent on the restaurant and stuff. A lot of people get in the restaurant business thinking it's easy, and it's not. And I know because I've worked in the restaurant business majority of my life, so I know it's not easy work for the employees, and most definitely not easy for a manager or supervisor. I'm just surprised that James Harden didn't pay the rent on his restaurant stuff. On to the next story. This is the story that I really want to talk about. Tabitha Brown. This is from the Jasmine brand too. Y'all agree? Tabitha Brown gingerly advised struggling entrepreneurs to get a job for a little while. And this has been a thing and stuff. And I told my niece that it kind of reminded me of my brother 44 years ago, back in 1982, 83. He had me to come out there to work for him in the summer, and then by the time fall came, he started having a little problem with his business, and he had a coworker and a friend that was trying to tell him, man, you need to do this with your business, do that for your business. Go come to these business meetings. Or he thought he could do it. And like I said, I watched a little bit of Rolling Martin. Rolling Martin I said the same thing. He said some people they say they want to be bosses and entrepreneurs and do this and do that, but they don't want to put in the footwork. And that's kind of like what my brother was. He wanted to be the boss, but he didn't want to put in the footwork. He wanted other people to do it like me and his wife and other people. And it's like, nah, you gotta have a team. And even if you have a small team, everybody gotta work together. It just can't be one person and stuff. And I kind of understand what Tabitha is talking about. She is saying that with this economy, if your business is not making enough money for you to live off of, you might have to get a little job. And like I said, I hear from both points of view. I understand as a businesswoman and stuff, you need a job. And also I understand some of the fans' position. Now, there was one lady I saw. I think she was on Lakeisha's I think Lakeisha took got her TikTok, and she was talking about Tabitha don't understand. Tabitha needs to read the room. She don't understand what's going on out here in the world. She is like colorblind. She's like colorblind, and she's in a box and stuff like that. I understood the little girl. The lady. She was a nurse and everything. And so, and so I said, well, yeah. And then a lot of people saying, well, Tabitha want to talk about everyday regular people that don't have no businesses. Even though her emphasis was kind of on entrepreneurs, the other lady who was speaking that I saw on the other YouTube video was right. She was saying the way this economy is, not just black folks are always used to struggling, but she talking about the jobs that are out there for black folks. There are hardly no jobs out there, and I'm not even a person that's looking for a job. I got my information from people who be complaining online, and then my niece was telling me about how the job market was and stuff like that, especially for black folks and stuff like that. And I see so many black folks on Twitter saying that if you got a job, keep that job, even if it's a bad job, until you find something else. Because a lot of these companies are laying out. And it was like right after Tabitha said that, that's when the government started putting out their thing, and you had all kind of financial planners saying that the government was lying about the economy was better than what it was and was going up. And then yesterday when I was on news, they were saying that that the administration had to do something to lower the interest rate because these people losing their homes because the interest rate and stuff had went up so high and the property taxes too. And I know about that because my sister was complaining to me about that 2 or 3 months ago, talking about California and her house, what she got to do for her house and all that kind of stuff. So I understand what Tabitha was saying. I do agree with what Tabitha is saying because to your business pop out, you got to have something to make ends meet. And even Tabitha said in the video that she said in the video that it was one of her friends, but a lot of people think it was Tabitha that's one that's struggling, and a whole lot of businesses have been struggling uh, since the well, I wouldn't call it pandemic because I would say since it's lightening up, a lot of people and losing money in their businesses. That's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells like a TI is. I am out. Like I said, I did hear a snippet of Chloe Bailey's new little song. It sounds pretty good and stuff like that. Now that's all I have for this video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells like a TI is. I am out.